Is this you? 19 hours.
Well, we were about to start our program until Marty Bannister took brisket. What? Wait, this is...
You got to try it. Jake,
I got to try
it. It's all part of tailgating.
Okay. Well,
it's all part of tailgating.
This is bad radio right here.
Oh, look at that.
Look at this.
Now that's professional right there.
Yeah, this is
professional right there.
Future guest of this show, Kyle Barlow, brought this for us.
That is tremendous.
We should probably talk about why we just interrupted everyone's tailgate.
Yeah, welcome to the outside the Convocation Center. Welcome to Ohio football here on this Saturday afternoon. It's college football season. Welcome, Bobcats, as we bring you the first of our tailgate shows here in Hospitality Village. That's Jake Hermata working on some brisket right there. I'm Marty Bannister. We're glad. It's tremendous.
This is going to take me all show.
It is tremendous.
Hey, can I get a plate for this?
I'm really sorry. And a wet nap or something along those lines.
This is already off the rails, is it not?
It's tremendous. It is outstanding stuff, thanks to Kyle Barlow. And we're going to be here with you right up until 5 o'clock today, getting you ready for the Bobcat home opener in this 2022 college football season, something we're very excited about. Jake Hermata and I will be with you as we get you ready for football, and we will tell you about some other things going on surrounding Ohio athletics. We have a lot of fun coming up for you. The commissioner of the Mid-American Athletic Conference is scheduled to stop by and see us. And Kyle Barlow will bring some more brisket around here in a little bit. So we have a lot to talk about.
We do. I should probably eat this before the commissioner comes by. It'd be really weird to interview the commissioner of the Mid-American Conference with a slab of meat in my hand. Allie Johnstone is coming. I see her coming down the ramp. She's going to talk to us about starting the season 2-0, a big win against Central Michigan up in Ann Arbor. Really weird non-conference game against Central Michigan. Right, but I mean that's what it is.
That's all right. It's still W. Still worked out.
Allie will talk about that. But yeah, we're just enjoying our tailgate scene today. We're at Hospitality Village. Thanks so much for tuning in today across our social channels, Twitter, Facebook. All thanks to Bryant Heating and Cooling.
Absolutely. We appreciate their help.
Also, our Behind the Mic feature brought to you by Learfield as well. So,
absolutely.
Lots to talk. Marty, before we bring Allie on, I do want to say this. It's great to have everybody in Athens today.
It is.
I mean, we have people behind us. They're eating Chick-fil-A. They've got a whole tailgate scene going on behind us. We have a lot of our donors here as well. They're enjoying some football currently. And, this is great. We got cornhole and other stuff. But
this is really a great thing if you get the chance here, the Hospitality Village, and you're out walking around, you're coming out to the game today, you get a chance, come over and check this out. This is really something special. And they've got the fans taken care of in here, and everybody's enjoying themselves. The big screen is up, and it's a great afternoon here to get ready for Ohio football as the season opener tonight, and the home opener as well, too, for the Bobcats.
Yeah, I'm really anxious just to see Bobcat football again. Right. Out on the new turf, Frank Solich Field, you're going to get to see it today, and great environment. Always love watching the Marching 110 go at it.
Right.
And this is going to be a great day. Fun day in Athens. Tailgate Park is full. Mm-hmm. I did get some tweets earlier. The flags are flying over there. And, a little rainy, Marty, but you know what? We're battling the rain, and we're still having fun out here.
And on top of all that, it's Rufus's birthday.
It is Rufus's birthday.
On top of all that.
Rufus turned 16. I don't think they got him a car. So, yeah. We got to work on that license, even though he's been riding a motorcycle since. Well,
if you get a motorcycle, you don't need anything else.
No, you don't
need anything
at all.
else. Don't need anything else. We're trying to eat here.
I can't. My job is to talk, and I can't eat while I talk. I'm sorry. Allie Johnstone, come on over.
Coach.
Her mic is on,
Did you try any of
the
this?
Brisket at least?
Just pick up one of these mics right here.
Yeah, the cool thing with this is I can at least walk over here.
No, see, that's what Jake does. He just walks away and starts to eat and leaves me to do all the work over here. So, yeah. All right, we'll let him go eat.
I'm here. No, I'm here. I'm back.
Okay.
I'm back.
All right. Well, Coach, first of all, we appreciate you coming over. Talk to us about the excitement level that surrounds being out and about on a home football game. It's really something special, isn't it?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, if you just look around the campus, what I was talking to my team this morning is just the energy, and there's a buzz, and we have 8 freshmen this year, so they've never seen this, and they've never witnessed it. And honestly, like the others with COVID, never really gotten to really experience like a true Athens, football weekend. So it's really, really fun. They're out here. They'll be walking around and just soaking up the atmosphere. It's Athens, and it's wonderful.
And it is a different atmosphere here. It's a great atmosphere to come down here for folks who've never seen a college football game here. This is really a special place to be around on a Saturday, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Yeah, my office window is over there, and right now you just look outside and you can just feel it. It's fun.
Yeah, it's an exciting time. No doubt. A couple of big wins for your team as we look to what you're doing right now. Great start to the season.
Great start. Yeah, really high level. The energy, the pace that our players are playing at right now is phenomenal. We didn't start with a Friday game, And so we're a couple days behind everyone else in preseason, but we spent a couple days at Lake Hope really just, getting to know each other and talk about the future of this program and what we're going to do this year. So it was an incredible experience, and they just came out of the gates with this pace that, you talk about. You don't always know if it's going to translate to the field, but their energy and their, tenacity and their grit on the field right now is really fun to watch.
I'm going to let Jake ask you a question, because I've been staying here holding a piece of brisket, so I'm going to let Jake ask you a question. I'm going to work on this for a minute.
Plates.
We need some barbecue sauce, too.
Yeah, we do. We did.
Sauce.
And Al, I do want to ask us, what's been the key to starting the season 2-0? I mean, like you said, you have so many newcomers, coaching them up really well. Obviously, they got 2 wins to start.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'd love to say that it's coaching, but it's
It's got to be a little coaching. Come on.
It's their mentality. Honestly, it started in the spring. We spent a lot of time last spring, like, really addressing what it was like to go through COVID and let the players, like, talk about, like, their mental health and really take a focus on, what they went through. Like, we were trying to power through COVID, but there's only so long you can power through. So we took the time for spring to take a step back and get to know, like, what are our values? How do we relay that to the field? How do you relay it as a teammate and all that kind of stuff? So we did a lot of work in the spring, and that work in the spring has just translated and it's brought this large freshman group on board, and the atmosphere and the positivity is there because they put the work in last spring. So I'd like to attribute it to that, and they're just, they're ready, they're hungry. We've been, like, one goal away from winning things all the time, and it's just like, what's it going to take? Let's kick it up a notch. Let's put some barbecue sauce on and see what happens.
That's a good catchphrase right there. Put some barbecue sauce on it.
And a little spicy mustard. I don't know.
That's not bad. That's not bad either.
Yeah.
You mentioned a moment ago it's all coaching, and you were kind of jokingly saying that. But with all you've had to go through the last couple of years, that's a big part of it. I mean, you had to be a lot of different things over these last couple of years, haven't you?
Yeah, obviously, and it's no easy feat for anyone in COVID. But yeah, coaching took a different role. It was, I don't joke about it, but I remember, like, my thoughts of those years. It was not X and O's. There was nothing on the field that we were doing. It wasn't how many reps in the weight room. It was like, we were doing COVID testing and who should be sitting with who, and it was, I don't know if any coach really felt like they were coaches, more so just like organizers of, I don't know, COVID organizers. Yeah, it's not a very glamorous. Yeah, it's not so glamorous, but yeah.
And who on this team has impressed you the most? I mean, you guys offensively have been scoring goals. Who has really impressed you on your team this year?
Oh man, it's hard to choose. We talked about a mentality, defensively. Like I said, we were like a goal away from winning things, and it was like letting one goal in at the last minute or minute and a half and then going into overtime. So it was taking not individual defense, but turning that into, okay, this is collective. Like, how do we do this as a team, and who's going to put the pressure first? And the job of the person putting pressure on first is really important. The person making the tackle and, like, everybody covering lines. So, it's been a different mentality together, and they have, like, their new mantra, and they're living by it, and it's fun to watch. But, offensively, we've got people in new places. Like, we had Bodie in the midfield last year, and now Bodie's our right back, and she's taking lines down the field and entering the circle and getting corners and shots. We took Noah, who was a forward, and putting her in the central midfield role. So they're all taking on these crazy roles. And then we have 2 new forward freshmen that have just, like, connected with Caitlin. And the ones coming off the bench are keeping that pressure right away. Like, it's really fun. It's really fun to watch them. Yeah.
That has to be a strength, though, when you can do that many different things and put somebody here who maybe hasn't played that position before, and you're out of the gate at 2-0.
Yes, it seems to be working. Yeah, they're picking
Again, it's
up.
coaching, right?
Yeah, it's coaching. No, it's them. The connectivity with them is, I don't think you can coach that. Like, they just do. They have this connection. We call her Minty, but Meintje from Holland. Her and Caitlin have a great connection, and Sasha's speed to get back. She's a pest to the other team, and it's so fun to watch. And then when she's a pest, the others take the ball, and yeah, it's really, really fun.
Nothing like a pest on your team.
That's right.
You want them on your team.
You want the pests on your team at all times.
She's a workhorse, and we joke about it. She just sneaks out of nowhere. All of a sudden, her stick is there, and you're like, where did you just come from? And you can't coach that. That's just her. Yeah.
Tomorrow you're back home.
We are.
Davidson, 1 o'clock. Over
12 o'clock.
Oh, 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I think soccer's
at 1.
1 o'clock. Any kind of breakdown? I mean, what you all need to do to keep this momentum going?
Yeah, we talked about our pace, how the pace of the game of Central will be different tomorrow. Davidson is a much higher paced team, and they have some speedy ones that come through the middle. They just beat Queens last night 6-2, so they're fresh off getting some goals and ripping some shots. And Zoe, the head coach, is a good friend of mine, so we kind of look at each other's film and it's like, it looks a little bit similar, so we're going to change some things around and just trying to find the pockets, but keeping the pace and keeping the pressure. We just want pressure on teams, and the pressure comes from the whole team together, not just one person. I've
always, whenever I ask coaches about the other team, they say the coach is a good friend of mine. What's it like to coach against a good friend of yours? Is the competition, does it just mean a little more when you're a good friend with somebody and you really want to beat them more?
Well, the problem is coaches are competitive, so no one.
It kind of goes out the window at that point, doesn't it?
You don't want to lose to your friend, because then you got to hang out with your friend.
Yeah.
But it is fun to watch breakdown film and just be like, is that from our old days, or is this new? And, as you're like trying to pick their brain, is she going to change it tomorrow, or is she going to keep it the same? No one likes to lose to friends, but it is fun to have someone on the other side, because it just it feels like a small world. So I appreciate everyone who I'm battling against.
I would think the phone calls and the texts stop during that week, don't they?
Actually, they're exponentially higher.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. It's like, when are you coming to town? Okay, what are you like? Where are the balls going to be? Like, is the field going to be watered? Is it a football game? Will I get to see you? Yeah. And we have her kids are young, so we talk mom stuff, which is not hockey. Yeah.
So it's something that I've worked with your team on is Morgan's Message, and it's the Morgan's Message game tomorrow. Raising awareness for student-athlete mental health and making sure that all student-athletes are okay and that they're able to have a safe space to to go and to talk about these things.
Absolutely.
Caitlin Whittle, one of your athletes I've been working closely with, and
phenomenal,
and making this making this just the announcements and stuff. How proud are you of her to bring the chapter here to Ohio University?
Honestly, Caitlin's been like this not silent, but she's a person that emulates what you're supposed to be as a student athlete. She works her tail off. She is on the quieter side, and just like Morgan's Message means so much to all the athletes. It doesn't matter if you're D1, D2, club sports or rec sports or anything. It's a community, and people have been hit pretty hard, and she just took it upon herself that this needs to change, and we need to talk about it more. We try and talk about it as much as possible, but what she's done, honestly, and this started, I can't remember the day she walked into my office, and I just looked at her, I was like, you are going to be amazing at this, and this place needs you, and I can't believe you're doing this for your school, for athletes, for our sport, and this university. I have chills right now. Literally, we're getting ready for pregame, and she's trying to print things around. I'm like, are you okay? We do have a game tomorrow. She's getting ready, but what she's put into it is, it's phenomenal to see her growth and her leadership, and we're just so blessed to have her on our team and have her at this university and representing. She's on SAC as well and just representing athletes. She's a huge voice for athlete mental health awareness. Sorry.
It is really cool when student athletes find a passion just outside their sport and they take it and they run with it. Yeah. And I think that's something that she's done, and it's really, really fun. She's fun to work with. She's a great kid.
She's awesome.
So,
yeah. Her trustworthiness, reliability, she's just top notch, and all the things that all the background stuff that she's done to make this actually happen. And watching her go through it and figuring it out and trying to give her some guidance, but I was like, I don't actually know these answers, but I would try, and she just runs with it, and she just finds the right people, and she's connecting. I'll just say, it would be a good idea to connect with this person. Boom, that day she's already made a connection with that person, and she's on it, and she's done such an amazing job, and I'm so proud of her. It's It's amazing. Yeah, she's awesome.
Everybody always talks about college being time management and to do all those other things that she works into all that. It makes it kind of a special thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. She also has, she's a bios major, so she's not doing.
Oh, by the way.
Yeah, by the
By the
way.
way, she's like, I don't know, doing some kind of something or other. I didn't do bios, so I don't help her with her homework, I'll tell you that. Yeah.
Well, Allie, thank you so much. I know your family's here. You should go
Somewhere.
spend time with them and go spend time with them. And good luck tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks for
Good luck.
having me.
Appreciate it.
Thanks
Thanks
for
for coming
having
over.
me.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Thank you so much.
Allie Johnstone visiting with us here, Ohio's field hockey coach, and again off to a great start with a couple of wins and back in action tomorrow over here in Athens, and another big game for them coming up tomorrow after the great start for them. As we continue along, again, we're reminding you we're in Hospitality Village. This is our Tailgate show. We are live getting you ready for Ohio and Florida Atlantic tonight, the Bobcats season opener in this 2022 college football season at Frank Solich Field inside Peden Stadium. How special is that?
Yeah, well, actually, we're going to talk a little bit about Frank Solich Field with the Bobcat Club Spencer Milne. And, yeah, it's okay, Spencer.
You don't have to run. It's okay.
We're ahead of schedule for once. I mean, these two yahoos, you never really know.
Well, I heard you guys were handing out brisket over here.
Yeah,
so
actually,
that's what,
here.
Yeah, the line has started to
was
wrap
running over
around
here.
back
Yeah.
here, so it's
Let's talk about Frank Solich Field and how special that is because of it. In our rundown here that you sent to me, I mean, it's cool, right, to have somebody that's been so legendary here, not only for Ohio football but in Athens and the Mid-American Conference. It's really cool to lay his name down on the field and he's there forever. I mean, that is Frank Solich Field.
I think it's an amazing way to honor his legacy. He had such an impact here, and a very impressive opportunity to recognize that for him. And it was a need. The field needed replacing, and so it was really just opportune timing for us. But we had some great people that stepped up and helped us pay for that field and that opportunity, and it's kind of been continuing a long-standing tradition of support of our programs and our recent investment in that football program too, which has started. Obviously, people mostly see Walter Fieldhouse and the Sook Center, which is attached to our football field, but we've also renovated the weight room. We've had some recent renovations to the locker room with new lockers and flooring and graphics and things like that, and we also recently renovated the second floor team rooms too, which just happened after all projects that happened from the generosity of some of our donors. Next opportunity coming up is our athletic training room, and these are things that we have to do to stay competitive in the MAC, and philanthropy helps us get there, and we've had some really generous people that step up and help us do it.
And I think sometimes people overlook the importance of that and what that means to an athletic program, be it this one or any others, to have that kind of support and people willing to step up and say, hey, let's make it better. Let's make everything better. It's great to have that, isn't it?
I'm, of course, an alum, and this is my first game back in almost 18 years.
Wow.
And one thing I've noticed is Ohio folks have a bleeding heart, right? And they're really generous, really kind, and really love this university, and everybody steps up in the best way that they can, and we've got a wonderful place because of it, right?
Speaking of facility upgrades, football's not just the only one, right? I mean, golf, swim and dive, baseball as well. What are some of those facilities? What are some upgrades that they're getting as well?
Yeah, so we'll start with golf. We've got a great golf project going on right now. Our men's and women's golf programs are challenged for practice space. So our solution to that is an indoor putting facility, which they can access at any time. Yep, really cool. And then we have a couple of indoor virtual hitting bays that we're going to be building for them. Projects that need a little bit extra support, so if there's some golfers out there or people with that affinity, we'd love to hear from you.
Will they be available to people like Jake and I, like the indoor hitting and the putting?
There
and
may be a
everything?
rental fee.
Maybe a rental fee?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
For the
well-
shot. Anything I can improve my game, I'm all about it.
I could probably clear you some time in the hitting bays around midnight or so.
Okay. I'll take it. I'll take
Yeah.
it.
So
That's when I'm at my best anyway with golf. So
no, we've got that going on. We've got some investment in baseball. We're interested in coming down the pike. We're going to be replacing the Bob Wren statue that had fallen into disrepair, and we need to re-recognize that gentleman who obviously had an amazing coaching career here and changed a lot of lives. That one's coming along. And so, yeah, we've got lots of opportunities. We've got a couple of scoreboard options as well. So Allie The scoreboard over there at Pruitt Field is aging and needs to be replaced, and so we've got some opportunity to impact that program. And swimming also has a scoreboard need too, and so lots of opportunities to step up and help, and not just football, but in big ways.
I heard a video board potentially at the Aquatic Center, right? Video board?
Yeah, there'll be a video component to it.
Awesome, awesome. And moving right along, where we are right now, Hospitality Village, I mean, people can see, if you're watching on social media, I mean, our donors have showed up, our fans have shown up as well, and what are the benefits to this area and being an OBC member?
Well, I mean, it's just a really cool spot. If, setting up a tailgate and investing in the food and the time in that is pretty laborious, and so this is just a built-in opportunity for all Bobcat Club members that give it the $100 level or more, and it's open to you. We've got some really great activities here. We've got the Hungry Cat food truck, which is serving up some pretty affordable beef brisket and burgers and whatnot. We've got cheap beer for sale, even by Athens standards, in here.
I might head over there.
I see some field hockey and some cross-country student athletes playing cornhole over there, and we've got some college football on our big screen over here.
Yeah.
So just a great place to watch if you can't set that up on your own.
Yeah, and from a location standpoint, you're right across the street from Peyton.
Yeah,
so it's
easy.
It's right across the street. Absolutely.
And we're on asphalt, so we're not getting rained out. So it's going on.
Yeah, nothing against Tailgate Park and Bobcat Pavilion, but this is where the party's at.
Well,
right here,
amazing atmospheres over there too.
Amazing. Yeah, you're right. Amazing on all fronts.
Yeah.
So, Spencer.
Yeah, wonderful.
Thank you so much for your time.
Hey,
appreciate it.
Guys.
Good to see you guys.
Good to
see you. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
All right. And that's the one thing about when you come to an event or come to a college football game, to be a part of something like this is pretty special. And Ohio Bobcat Club has done a great job with this.
Yeah, and it's special just to be with everybody.
Right.
I mean, the game day atmosphere is back in Athens. And speaking of game day atmospheres, Kyle Barlow is helping ours with the brisket.
A game day atmosphere in his own right.
Yeah, in his own right. I mean, as soon as he sits down, it's just elevated things. But well, thanks for joining BobcatTracks Live, brought to you by Bryant Heating and Cooling. Coach Barlow, how you been? I feel like what? Have you come to work since you got back from Spain or what?
Yeah, well, we had a good week off, and it was great. Got some traveling in besides the Spain trip, which was awesome. And I just want to come here and bless you guys. I didn't know the food truck was gonna be coming brisket. Otherwise, I would have brought it. But Jake dove in. He had that.
Right away.
I mean, Jake, aka Fred Flintstone, just dove in for that big piece of brisket there, and we weren't prepared for it. But you know what? We'll survive in advance, just like in March. We're gonna roll with it.
There you go.
And there it is right there. So 19 and a half hours right there.
19 and a half hours.
That's
of work
tremendous.
Right there.
That's outstanding work. That stuff is
Thank
delicious.
You.
It is really good.
It tastes like 19 and a half hours.
Our guys love it too. I'll do it every once in a while for them. Have them over to the house. So it's good though, man. It's a great atmosphere. Great to be around here, and you can tell football's back in the air.
Absolutely. With that in mind, you guys did go. The basketball team did go to Spain and spent some time there. A lot of benefits out of that, but number one, just for the student athlete. I mean, I think certainly getting games in and extra practices, that's all important. But for the student athletes to take a trip like that had to be special.
Absolutely, and it's bigger than just a trip, and you get extra practices too, which absolutely helps. Kind of works like a bowl game in football, where you get extra practices. And we got 10 extra practices in the summer, and we got 9 newcomers this year. 4 freshmen, 3 transfers, and 2 freshman walk-ons as well. So that was invaluable. But the best part about these trips, too, is a lot of these guys want to play professionally. And 0.003% make the NBA. I was talking to Jason Preston about it. Like, literally 0.003% of people make the NBA. So if you want to play professionally, you're going to play overseas. Well, this is what overseas is like. It's not the gym you expect. It's not like you're playing in the Staples Center. It's not like the Convo. It's different gyms, right? The competition is different. The game is different. Ask a couple of our centers about illegal screens and our guards fighting through because they don't call them there. And it's a physical game.
Yeah.
And they're looking at the sideline, putting their arms up, and they said, "Coach, that's an illegal screen." I said, "Well, they're not calling it."
They're not calling it.
They're like, "What do we do?" I said, "Send an illegal screen on the other end."
Yeah.
And put the ball in the ref's hands there. So what a great experience, team bonding, number one, but also to see how the game is played overseas and professionally, and played against pros and guys from the national team as well.
That's a great point you bring up about some of these young men getting a chance to perhaps play overseas and play in Europe to get a taste of that, and you hit it right on the head. It's an entirely different game over there. There's still a basket, there's still a ball, but after that, it's vastly different, isn't it?
Absolutely, and you know what? The pros we played, they will make you pay for any mistake, especially defensively, where you can get away with some mistakes on this end, even in the MAC play once you come conference play. But if you messed up a switch there, it was pass, made three, because they all can shoot and they all can pass. And, it helps your defense in that much.
Sure.
Like, look, man, you pretty much got to play a perfect possession. Now, the shot clock's 24 seconds, so you don't have to play 30 seconds of great D, but 24 seconds and one mistake, and I'm telling you guys, it was made three, layup, or free throw.
Wow, we talk about it's a different style of basketball, but that helps your kids as well too. When you come back and get on the practice floor here, there are some things you learned over there that you can incorporate into what you're doing back here.
100%. We got great film, and our guys were able to see, like, look, this is, like I said, we have 9 newcomers, and a lot of the guys have, inexperience in our system and playing what we want to do defensively and offensively. And it was the film that we got is invaluable, as well as the team bonding experience, as well as the on-court experience. So it was an overall, what a wonderful experience culturally. Set basketball aside, an amazing trip that we were on.
You mentioned team bonding. What did you all do off the court that brought you guys together? What'd you see? What food did you eat? Things like that.
Brisket? Was there any brisket?
Yeah.
Was there brisket?
There was no brisket. It was, the paella. The paella is something that,
yeah.
it was delicious. A lot of seafood, especially in Barcelona, because Barcelona is right on the water. And a lot of the best probably team experiences was the dinners, the team meals that we had. We ate at very fine restaurants, stayed at great hotels. So just sitting there and eating the food, and we could adopt that in America, because they'll bring out one course, and 3 hours later will be your main course. And in between every course is wine. For the coaches, of course, not for the players.
Yeah.
But in between every course is wine. But you sit there, and then you get done with dinner, and you're like, I'm not that full. I'm content. Where here in America, I feel like you eat for an hour, and you eat as much as you can, and then afterwards you're like, okay, here comes the nap. Just like eating that brisket.
Food coma time.
Yeah, no doubt. I had that brisket this afternoon, pulled it off, and I was like, oh, I feel a nap coming on here.
How important is a football game day for the basketball program?
It's great, and more times than not, we'll have official visits for around our football games. And this year was kind of a down year for us because we had already had a commitment early. We don't have that many scholarships because last year we had a majority of the scholarships. So usually we'll have 1 or 2 official visits. Now our official visits will come at the end of the month on September 24th. I forget our opponent that date, but so we'll have a lot there. But usually it's a great atmosphere to show our recruits and our guys, and for them to be with other students. And last year we had 2 commits on opening weekend.
Wow.
When we had the blackout last year, where we had 20,000 plus people, I believe, in Peden. So it was awesome, and that atmosphere definitely helped us.
Feel like a lot of our fans in attendance here, they want to talk about scheduling. And when are they finally going to get to this year's schedule? What are your thoughts on the schedule? I know we've slowly released it. There is still room for more potential matchups, I believe, but the ones that are out there now publicly, what are your thoughts on them?
Well, we want to challenge ourselves first and foremost, and scheduling is extremely difficult when you're a mid-major and you've had success in the past couple of years. And we were lucky enough to get a neutral game against Florida. Now, albeit in Tampa, neutral, right. And then Michigan, we're going to play at Michigan this year as well. So 2 very challenging high majors, which in the past we haven't been able to get many interest in that aspect. But then also challenging mid-majors. We play a lot of Horizon League schools, and then a CAA school that is done, contract signed, just not announced yet too. So it'll be really good. We'll have 6 home games in the convo this year, and a good chance for our fans to come out and support our guys early and see what we got with all their new guys.
What's the backstory of Michigan and Florida? I mean, how are you able to convince them to play? Because I know every time I see Jeff Bowles, it's just one of those things where he's like, no. I mean, he's got a full list of schools that he's contacted, and he's like, these are the ones that we've contacted. They've said no. So why did those 2 schools say yes?
Well, Michigan and Florida, they said no at least 2 to 3 times. And I guess if you just wait long enough, at some point it's going to happen. And, I was a GA at Michigan, so I was trying to pull every string that I had there just to get to be able to play at their place. And It's funny, it's not like you're asking them to come to the convo. It's like, we'll play at your place whenever you want. anytime you want, whatever, we'll work around you. And we had a list of 84 teams at one point that had said no.
84? Wow.
84 that I've called or Coach Bowles had called that just said, we don't want to play you. No, wait, we'll play at your place. Doesn't matter. We don't, you don't have to return the game. Doesn't matter.
Right.
We won't play you.
We just want to play.
We just want to play. We just want an opportunity. And, and that's, it's a compliment. It doesn't make my job any easier, Coach Bowles' job any easier with scheduling, but it's a compliment, really, because that means you got the respect of a high major team that said, look, we're not trying to lose on our home court.
Right. It's the opener of the football season today, but we're 2 months away.
Yeah.
Which is hard to believe for the opening of the basketball season. You get the practice on, get on the practice floor next week. I know you're excited to go this year.
Oh, absolutely. November 7th at Belmont. It's going to be great. We're already looking forward to it. Our guys are already ready. We had a great spirited workouts this week and lifting, and our guys are ready to go.
Coach, thanks so much for your time. I know the Marching 110, they're ready to play here starting at 5 o'clock. And we have the Commissioner of the Mid-American Conference waiting to hop on our show, too. So,
there we go.
Coach, thanks so much.
Thank you, guys.
Can't wait to talk to you.
Always bring the brisket, brother.
Absolutely.
Always bring your brisket.
Absolutely.
I'll be expecting that at home basketball games now when we come in and get set up. Thank you. Kyle Barlow visiting with us again here on our Tailgate Show. We are brought to you by Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems. And we're outside the Convocation Center getting you ready for Bobcats football tonight as Ohio plays its opener in the 2022 season at Frank Solich Field at Peden Stadium. And we are pleased to be joined now by the Commissioner of the Mid-American Conference, Mr. Jon Steinbrecher. Good to see you, sir. Thanks for coming over. We appreciate your time.
Oh, it is great to be here. It's great to be playing college football.
And that's the one thing about it. When you get around the league and you come to certain places, the atmospheres are fantastic around this league for home games, aren't they?
They really are. And particularly, I can't remember a season I've anticipated more just because of how much churn there's been in the offseason on take your pick, right? Just all sorts of stuff. I'm tired of stuff. I want to compete and just play games.
I was gonna say the stuff just continually builds, doesn't it?
It's always there.
It's always there.
Well, speaking of building, now all of a sudden in the future we're going to have ourselves a 12-team college football playoff.
That's been part of the stuff.
That's been part of the stuff. And, of course, we have to ask you about that stuff because I know everyone here is probably wondering what your thoughts are on this.
It's something we should have approved last January, and we managed to mangle that up, and we got it there. I think it's the logical next step in the evolution of the college football playoff. The next and final step will be getting it to 16. But we'll start with 12. And then we'll continue to push, and we'll get it to 16.
What does that do for the Mid-American Conference?
Well, there's a couple things. One, the more teams in, more opportunities involved, right? That's one. Two, and I don't know if people think about that, it continues to build and tie the relationship around the 10 FBS conferences. Contractually binds us together. It helps continue to bring legitimacy to what we're doing around our programs. That, as much as anything, was why I've been such a proponent. We need to get that done because it'll help with all the churn in the enterprise of intercollegiate athletics. That will be one of the things that helps settle the waters. And again, it continues to build that relationship. It's not that 5, it's not this 5, it's the 10 of us and Notre Dame doing this. And so I was tickled that was accomplished.
Now, I've already heard a lot of comments. 12 is too many.
No.
16 is too many. But you're a staunch proponent of this.
You know what? We've been at 4. Couple things with 4. 2 was better than none. 4 was better than 2. One of the major unintended consequences of 4 was the branding ding that a lot of people took that no one thought about. And it's not so much for us, but if a Big Ten team's not in, if a Pac-12 team's not in, that hurt, it dinged their brand, it hurt them, it caused problems for them, and so that helped us get to this. 16 is the right number. You want a national championship. You want broad exposure. It's more democratic, it's more inclusive, it's the right number of games. We can manage it. There's some things we need to do. We need to talk about perhaps starting the season a week earlier. What we today call week 0. So
week 0.
Not this weekend, last week.
Right.
And then let's have maybe conference championships on Thanksgiving weekend. And then open the playoff that first week of December. Take a week off, maybe for a lot of people would have exams, then start the playoffs that next week, or the second round would be that next week. Then you go into Christmas and New Year's. You could have New Year's games, could be your semifinals, and then in early January we could do our championship, we can own December of college football.
Wow.
It would be like March Madness with basketball. Keeps us away from the NFL playoffs. I really hope we can get it there.
And Commissioner, when you hear that, Division I AA has been doing this, or FCS has been doing this for so many years now with their playoffs, getting so many teams in. I covered Division III college football for a number of years, and of all levels, that's the one where they made it work without any effort whatsoever. So I guess that becomes a simple, well, it can be done there. It can be done at this level.
Sure it can. Absolutely can. That's a Trojan horse. That's
Right.
a little bit of what I spent the last year. Every meeting, someone come up with another. Well, several conferences continually came up with different reasons why we couldn't expand at this time. We can do this.
We can
We're
do
smart people. We're redoing the football's the one sport in college athletics that has a full year calendar that tells you what you can do, when you can practice, when you can't practice, when you can recruit, when you can't. We've zeroed in so much on the health and safety of the student athletes, and rightfully so. You know what? We can manage that. We practice so much differently today than when I played. Now, I'll age myself here. Let's go back to the early 80s. I don't remember a practice where I wasn't in full pads, helmet buckled up, and we were banging at you. Not a lot of hitting goes on these days, and that's okay.
Right.
We've really managed that much better. We're doing a much better job of keeping healthy, taking care of injuries when they occur, rehab, etc. So don't buy that. We can manage this.
Right. You talked about the stuff that's happened in the offseason. Of course, expansion, realignment. There's so many things in that area as well, too. It seems to me, though, that the Mid-American Conference, where it's situated right now with 12 schools, 2 6-team divisions, that seems to be a workable number. It seems to be what makes the most sense right now for the MAC.
Well, you know what? It's.
I mean, you're always looking and thinking.
Well, exactly, right. Part of my job is scan the environment, and if there are other institutions that would make us better, make us stronger, and there's a lot of ways to define that, well, then you go about your business on that. What we have is a marvelous marriage of 12-member institutions that are so well aligned, and that's so unique in intercollegiate athletics, and that speaks to our stability. And it starts with the with 12 national research institutions, right? So you start with us. Anytime we even think about talking about another school, we talk about academics first. Starts there, okay? Then you go into the athletic programs, programmatically aligned. We have the smallest difference in expense budgets from top to bottom in our league of any of the FBS conferences. So we have very robust competition, right? That's a good news, bad news. We don't have, like you had in the Mountain West for a number of years, Boise running away from the field. And the flip side of Boise ran away from everybody and really built a brand for themselves and built a brand for that conference. So, you know, there's good and bad with that. And then we just have remarkable leadership. We have very good presidents, very good directors of athletics. I hope the folks at Ohio recognize how well thought of Julie Cromer is nationally and within our league. We've worked very hard. She's been appointed co-chair of the Transformation Committee, which is probably as important a committee the NCAA has ever had. And she's leading that group. And it speaks to how well she's thought of. And she's a marvelous leader for our conference and marvelous leader for intercollegiate athletics nationally.
Dr. Steinbrecher, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Thanks for your thoughts. Yeah, especially with the news yesterday. Just was really curious of your thoughts. So thank you so much.
Go Bobcats.
Yeah,
There
go
you go.
Bobcats
Absolutely. Should be a
today,
fun
right?
night. Commissioner, thanks very much. We appreciate your time.
I feel like that pretty much wraps things up. I mean, the 110's here.
110 is here, absolutely.
They're ready to add to our game day experience. So whenever we're
Uh-oh.
ready.
Hang on a second. Look to your left.
Chick-fil-A.
See?
Chick-fil-A.
It's a winner right now. Brisket and Chick-fil-A. You can't beat that.
Whenever you guys are ready.
Hit it.